So we're talking about marriage, and one of the thoughts that came to my mind was that when we first got married, of course, after the honeymoon and everything is all lovey-dovey, and you love me, I love you, and we're trying to forge this new life together, meshing our individualities, then things started to clash. And we started arguing and bickering over little stuff that, that didn't even make any sense. We were just arguing over. And we always said, and we always walked by the concept of divorce is off the table. But when we started arguing over and over again, for me, in my mind, I never said it, but the divorce was on the table. And so wanted to, split away. But then something happened that caused us to draw in closer. Now, God was always in the forefront, first and foremost in our lives. We love God, we were saved, we love God. And so that wasn't the issue, but we couldn't get it together for some reason. And then 3 months into...
For some reason we couldn't get it together, like...
Just arguing. We would argue, and then we would, make up. But then the next day would be another argument about something.
Attitudes and didn't understand, each other to the extent of being able to work through it all the time.
It was me with my baggage coming from, the family that I came from, the environment that I came from, coming together with Kenya from her baggage and her environment and family, and us coming together trying to sift out, and to remove so that we can be us.
Right.
And so, we first got married, it was just that constant going on and trying to kind of, give up some of myself, but also keep some things. And in a marriage, you can't do that. And so it just got to the point where it was just really frustrating and that, maybe separation would be the best thing for us. But then 3 months into the marriage, Kenya gets pregnant.
I don't know how.
You don't know how?
I don't know how, because we was going like bunny rabbits for the beginning. But then even the sex owed up to the point where it was very few and far between. It
was.
so
then,
I didn't like him no more.
And then all of a sudden we're pregnant, and Judah came 9 months later. And if it wasn't for that girl, I'll tell you, we probably would not be together. Because we knew that now we're creating a family. Now there's another life coming into this world, a promise that God has given us to have, children, to have babies, and that our quiver will be full, were some of the words that we were receiving as a young couple. And so now we have this baby, and to break up this family and to allow, this baby to, grow up with parents who were divorced or separated. I, being a father, couldn't fathom that. As a man, this is something that I'm going to have to work out with my wife, someone's daughter, and vow before them as well as God that I was going to love her as Christ loved the church. And so I wasn't doing a very good job of that. And so I had to check myself, and I had to come back to myself, and I wanted to stand on the principle that if I'm bringing children in this world, I want my children to grow up with their mom and dad together. And not to say that divorce is bad or divorce is wrong or anything like that, for anyone else. If divorce is amicable between the two, and it's a situation where it just has to be done, then it has to be done. But if there's something that you can work out, and for our, situation, it wasn't an infidelity. It wasn't anything else. It was just
immaturity.
Immaturity.
We just didn't know how to live together. We knew we were supposed to be together, but what was that supposed to look like every day? I wasn't cooking, I wasn't taking care of him. I wasn't honoring him as my husband, as the head of the household. I thought I was, but then, if you can kind of sift through the dirt, it was many a days that he was being dishonored. I was looking at him like, what? you can't, do this or you can't do that. And just my vision, my perspective of him was off. And it was showing in how we were conflicting with each other. I can only speak for me, and so it was a lot of things I was not doing right. It was some things I was doing right, but there's a lot of things I wasn't doing right. And that's, if I'm not checking myself, and measuring myself against some standard, then we're just looking for shipwreck, really, and that's what we were headed toward, shipwreck, real shipwreck.
And that's a whole nother story for another day for men and husbands, how to stand in the place of dishonoring. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, and it wasn't just all Kenya, it was also my part and, what I lacked in my immaturity and coming into the marriage thinking that she was going to be my second mother. And so had to deal with those issues. But all in all, I always say this, if it wasn't for Judah, that praise, in our position of praise and our posture of praise early in our marriage, we would not be together 20, almost 21 years later.